It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. Good evening to all of the neighborhoods in East Tennessee and Hampton Roads. East Tennessee, I'm thinking too, because I have a webpage there, Facebook page, but I'm thinking, all the things that you're thinking about tonight, we're going to cover about weather. And what you're watching right now is First Warning Live. We focus on all things weather, sponsored by Marco's Pizza, who, by the way, generous enough to have and issue some free pizza. We're going to be giving away 22 free pizzas tonight. Now, some will be kind of like forward thinking because one person's going to get free pizza for a year, which we'll talk about at the top of the hour. But I just want to remind you that's going to take place at the top of this hour. So you've come to the right place if you're interested in weather. I want to talk about the big story. Buckle your seatbelt, my friend. The temperature roller coaster is about to begin, and it's going to be a wild ride. I know some of you are familiar with the Griffin, Busch Gardens. Some of you are familiar with Verbolten, when the bottom drops out. That scared me. I was like, whoa, what's happening? Because it was dark. Busch Gardens. And I'm thinking Apollo's Chariot, maybe Pantheon. All these types of roller coasters may pale in comparison to what we get in the temperature department. But I got to get to first things first. What's happening tonight is it's going to be frosty cold by morning in some of our counties. Specifically, I'm looking at Surrey, Sussex. I'm looking over here at Isle of Wight. I'm looking at Suffolk. I'm looking at Bertie. I'm looking at Hertford County in North Carolina. So all of these areas are going to be in effect for a frost advisory until 1 to 8 in the morning tomorrow. As low as 34 degrees. If you're watching, want to say hi to you because this is the first thing. I mean, keep in mind, yesterday, it's not a mistake, we were above normal. We had our first above normal day for the month yesterday. But the day before that, I guess it was like even on election day, it was below normal. Tonight it's below normal, and then we're back to above normal tomorrow. This is the roller coaster that's just getting started. So you have to be prepared for some frost. Now, look at these numbers. These are the numbers representative of the 24-hour temperature change. So if I am reading this correctly, Wakefield and Franklin and Suffolk are all 24 degrees colder now than they were this time last night. We had a southwest wind last night, kept the temperatures up, but that's some really cold air. Look where we are right now. It's 42 in Carrollton. It's 39 in Suffolk. And it's only 7:41 in the evening. I don't know where you are, but I had the question come up, and I thought it was a good question. This is from last night, but I thought I would share it with you. This is from Daniela. She was saying, hey, how cold is it going to be? Because if it's going to be really cold, probably want to bring out the cold weather jacket. Absolutely, Daniela. You want to bring that out not only for tonight, but you're going to want to keep it close by for next week, and I'll explain. But I know what you're thinking. I heard it was going to be in the 70s this weekend. It will be in the 70s this weekend, but don't put the coat away. I know you want to remain stylish, but you also want to be practical. Maybe layers, thinking of the kids, if they have to go to the bus stop in the next couple of mornings, particularly next week, you're going to wish to have that jacket. So I got a little note here, just want to clear off the telestrator. Got another note that might be coming in. Susan Judkins wanted to say hi. That's a new face to me. Hi, Susan. This might have been from yesterday. We have Patricia. She was on here. Patricia Gale Walters. Glad to have you watching. And this one is kind of new by me. I got Kenneth and Pat Hudson. Now, if I'm reading that correctly, this is a shout out from Oklahoma City. Now, I don't want to presume anything. Let's assume Kenneth and Pat come here maybe in the summers. Maybe they have a connection to Virginia Beach or perhaps the Outer Banks, maybe the Eastern Shore. I don't know. But somebody's watching from Oklahoma City, so maybe this information is helpful to them, and I'm glad they're watching, even if it is on delay. So let me keep moving because I do want to get to all the pizza winners at the top of the hour. I haven't forgotten you. But if this is where we are now, look how cold it's going to be by morning. About 34 Conway, 35 Ahoskie. We could level off in Wakefield about 35. That's pretty cold. Gloucester, 39. While places like Duck may actually hold some heat there by the ocean. There, 51 degrees, 40 in Elizabeth City. Could easily drop to 38 in Chesapeake, 39 Smithfield. So a cold start tomorrow. But then, guess what? We're going back to the upper 60s to around 70 tomorrow. So I know what you're thinking. How do I dress? How do I dress? Do I dress for the cold air in the morning, or do I dress for the warmer air in the afternoon? I don't know. It's depending on your preference. Because some of you might say, if I take the coat to school, the kids are just going to leave it there when it gets near 70 in the afternoon. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes they have to be reminded, hey, make sure you bring your coat. Don't forget it. but sometimes these things happen. If you're on the call, I just want to say hi to you. I said East Tennessee by accident because I was on my Facebook page, and I have quite a few followers still there. I was talking about roller coasters in Busch Gardens, but we know Dollywood also has the Wild Eagle. They've got Lightning Rod. They've got some of their own roller coasters, and I'm sure they're in for a wild ride as well. Let me check in with you. If you've got a comment, I will put it on the screen, but this is a great opportunity to talk about this ride that's about to come to a neighborhood near you. You like that? The neighborhood near you? You mean we're going to get to 75 on Sunday? Easy peasy. I think we could easily get to 75 on Sunday. So what you're looking at here is actually just a glance at the 7-day forecast. I mean, you don't have to wait to the end of this stream to recognize, okay, we've got some issues here where temperatures actually get much, much colder as we head into Monday, Tuesday, where highs will only be generally in the upper 40s to near 50. So I put 48 here. We'll go ahead and circle it. This is the bottom of the barrel. Actually, Tuesday morning is the bottom of the barrel. But we'll try and make a recovery as we head into mid to late next week. I hope that makes sense. If you're on this call, I'll be just leaving on this for just a second so I can get your comments on here. I do see some actually coming in now. Some of these comments might be pertinent to the conversation at hand. So if you have a seatbelt, you know when you get on the ride, they want to make sure they tug on it. You know, I'm tugging on. You know, like they don't want to give the thumbs up to the roller coaster operator unless everybody on the team has a thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? I think Taj Brown's probably understand what I'm saying. I got a note from Kathy. Kathy Cox is on here. I want to say hi to her. I think she's new to me, but Kathy, good to see you. Hey there. I got one. These are new messages from Lynn Old. See how I did that? Lynn Old, but the message is new. Roller coasters. Exactly right. She's getting it. And oh yes, even though if you don't ride a roller coaster anymore, we got Kim Thompson-Jones. We got Taj Brown on here. He's all excited because he knows this is a happy Friday Eve and it's pizza night. And your name, no kidding, all joking aside, your name might be on my computer. I have 10 individual pizzas that we're giving away at 8 o'clock, plus one person will get 12 pizzas with one topping to carry them through October of 2026. They'll get one this month and then through the first 10 months of next year. I think that's pretty sweet, especially given the way that food costs so much now. You want to have something free, and this could be your ticket to a free pizza. Hang with me. Now, I call it the Rude Awakening. I mentioned this a couple of days ago. I've shown this graphic several times, but it is so descriptive. It shows the cold air, a cold Arctic blast, coming down from Canada, coming down into the Great Lakes, coming into West Virginia, into the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, back toward Massanutten in Harrisonburg. I mean, you pick your favorite place, whether it's the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Allegheny Mountains, the Shenandoah Valley. It's going to snow. But what about here? I still think it's possible. I think it's possible, and I'll show you and demonstrate graphically why that might not be a big factor. I said yesterday, if it happens at 4:30 in the morning on Tuesday when most of us are asleep, it's like the tree that falls in the forest. Nobody saw it, so nobody really noticed it, so it didn't really happen. But it had to have happened because the tree's laying down on the ground. You know what I'm saying? But because it's snow, there won't be any evidence. You know what I mean? Unless you look at a radar image, and most people say, oh, I was asleep, I don't care. So if that's where you are, that's fine. But I do think there's potential that we could have cold enough air aloft that we could get maybe a melting snowflake in the neighborhood. Veterans Day, oh, look at this. I show you this early for one purpose and one purpose only, to highlight how cold it is, and when you throw in a 10 to 20 mile an hour wind, it's going to feel like it's in the 20s. No way. That's like what yours truly was saying last Wednesday. Now, I know some of you watch a lot of my live streams. Some might just pick it up here or there. But last Wednesday, if you go back, I mentioned on my expectation for winter, I said it would start early. It would be front-end loaded. You can't get any more front-end loaded than November 11th. That is Veterans Day. So if it's 33, west 10 to 20, and of course it's all about the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. That's where we get Veterans Day, Armistice Day before that, 43, 48. So I do think it's just a beautiful day, but in the pre-dawn hours, there could be some interesting weather. Let's put it that way. If you look at the morning low temperatures the next couple of days, does this say roller coasters, Lynn Old? Maybe it does. When you go from 57, 56, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and then we go do. It's the cliffhangers from Price is Right. We're down to 33. And the normal low is 47. But here it is. I mean, this is the wind chill forecast. This is model driven, but look at the clock at the top. This represents 4 in the morning. Well, now I imagine many of us will be asleep, but that's when it gets coldest. It may feel like it's 24 south side, maybe 25 by 8 in the morning. So some of you might say, well, I'm in bed at 4 a.m., but maybe you're not at 8. Maybe you're at work, maybe you're at school, maybe you're in the car, and you're like, man, I wish I had the heater. Or I wish I had time to get the heater in my car fixed because it's on the fritz. If that's the case, if it's not working well, maybe you have time to prepare because this is serious cold air for this time of year. It's not usual that we get it this cold this fast, but this is where we're headed. And I wanted to be first warning to tell you all about it. By the way, it's 7:49. I'm going to have pizza winners in 11 minutes. But when you have a big area of high pressure that is literally parked in central sections of the Commonwealth, it's obviously, it's noteworthy, but it also allows for the heat to go right out into space. We like to call that radiational cooling, but that's just geek speak for it gets colder faster. We're going to lose the heat. It's like ripping off the blanket off your bed. I get cold fast without the blanket, David. Yeah, I do too. So you're not alone. That's why these areas are under the frost advisories, and I fully suspect Virginia Beach and Norfolk will participate in that chilly, cold frost advisory early next week. So all comes around, goes around. So if the growing season hasn't ended for you yet, well, we have another opportunity next week. Many of areas have already had frost in some of the hot spots. We were talking about Franklin and maybe even down toward Ahoskie. It's been pretty cold other days in the rearview mirror. Now, this is the surface map, and you can see what looks like a pretty good line of showers at noon tomorrow, moving through Ohio, Indiana, and back toward West Tennessee. Yes, you notice I didn't say Western Tennessee. Here it's called West Tennessee and East Tennessee. Or Middle Tennessee, not Central. But West Tennessee has some rain at noon tomorrow, as does Ohio and Indiana. But once we move into 7 a.m. Saturday, there's about a 20% chance. Yeah, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It is within the realm of possibility, 20%, but that's at 7 in the morning. And then it dries up, which means based on this track, based on this timing, based on this model solution, we have a quiet, sunny finish. So Saturday afternoon looks quiet. This is 5 p.m. Saturday. It's all dried up. But this back here has to get organized, and that's associated with the Arctic blast and the upper air pattern. But by the time we hit midday Sunday, yeah, we got some showers, and warm front could spawn a few isolated thunderstorms. Could get that. That's possible. That's 10:30 Sunday night, and you can clearly see we got some snow in purple blue. I guess the pink would be more the mix. You got a little bit of a mixed bag from Michigan back toward Indiana. So stay with me. This takes us through about 11:30 Monday night. Now, at that point, it's probably snowing pretty good all the way from Snowshoe, West Virginia, into what my East Tennessee neighbors know as the horseshoe effect. The horseshoe effect, what's that? Well, it looks like a horseshoe, but we'll get to that another time. But the mountains, Smoky Mountains, may very well have some flakage at this point. This is 11:30 Monday night, and you can see it going all the way back to Pennsylvania and maybe toward Massanutten and right through Snowshoe and the Greenbrier. Not Greenbrier neighborhood of Chesapeake, but like the Greenbrier Hotel area in West Virginia. So it's snowing good, but you say, well, that's not here. Well, that's 11:30. Let's take you to 4:30. Now what happens? Oh, you saved the best for now. I really have. Look at this. Looky. Now, if you're following along with the legend, many of you probably know that the green represents rain. When you see pink, it's a mix. And if you see white or kind of a lightish blue, it's snow. So there would seem to suggest that there's a little bit of a mix, maybe some melting snowflakes for the eastern shore, maybe some mixing going on in the peninsulas. You said that. Yeah, I kind of did. Did I say that out loud? I guess I did. But there's potential. This is at 4:30 in the morning. This is the tree that falls in the forest. Nobody heard it. Nobody saw it because the next slide shows it disappearing. And then it's a sunny outlook for the rest of Tuesday, Veterans Day. But if this were to happen, it's not out of the realm of possibility. You get some snow. I mean, look at this again, full screen. It looks like there's some snow in Richmond. It looks like it's maybe a mix, not far from D.C. I mean, it is 4:30 in the morning Tuesday. I always point this out because a lot of times when weather happens while we sleep, it didn't happen. It's just human nature. It's not affecting my life, so it probably didn't matter. So what's the big deal? But if you're a winter fan, it did start early, if this verifies, because the rest of Tuesday, the rest of Veterans Day looks quiet. I got some other notes I just want to share with you. Let's see here. Lynn Old is making me laugh. She has written, I believe, or is it he? Lynn Old say, hey, guess I have to put my flip-flops away. Maybe you do. Maybe you do, and I was going to say, if you have flip-flops, this might be the time. You could use them this weekend. I mean, let's face it, we're still in the low to mid 70s Saturday and Sunday, but you just have to have that scorecard. You just have to have the WTKR, First Warning Weather app, so you can keep score of when these types of things change, because depending on the day of the week, you're going to have some issues with the cold air. Some will be warm. I do want to bring you up to speed. Today's drought monitor comes out every Thursday morning at 8:30. Did update and improve some of our North Carolina counties. I'm looking at Chowan County for Edenton. I'm looking at Perquimans and Pasquotank and Currituck, and even to some degree Camden County. These areas have seen what was orange, and orange over here means severe, because there are 5 levels here. 5 levels here. Severe was the 3rd. This was pretty much all orange last week, but because they got some significant rain, about 1.5 inches fell around Elizabeth City a couple of days back. Things have improved dramatically there. We were never, in the last 7 or 8 days or so, we were not into a drought situation in Norfolk, nor were we on the Eastern Shore for the most part, although Gloucester still level 1, up toward Christchurch and back toward maybe areas around Dare County. They could use a little bit of rain. That is the current scenario as issued by NOAA. And yes, even though there is a government shutdown, NOAA is still functioning. I do know that. The Weather Service still has to do their thing. Meanwhile, as you can see, some orange areas. So we had severe drought going on in parts of West Virginia, but they're going to get some good snow, and that might help alleviate their issues as well. We take a look at the streams here. I'll look at the 4 cameras. You can see virtually clear skies tonight from Chesapeake Bay, Virginia Beach to Kill Devil Hills. We look at Virginia Beach now, and the surf hasn't been that high today, although it did get a little bit gusty between 10 and 11 o'clock this morning. We did have a peak gust based on records, got up to 39 miles per hour between 10 and 11 this morning. Now, we are going to be warming up. Hard sell when it's so cold tonight. But tonight, below normal. Tomorrow afternoon, above normal. 70s this weekend. Best rain chance will be on Sunday with showers and some rumbles of thunder. And then we've already covered the reason of sharply colder air coming in with highs near 50 early next week. By the way, it's 7:56. I want to keep moving, but I want to pass out the pizza names who are going to be getting some certificates here in about 4 minutes from now. Take a look at the temperature forecast, right? From earlier today, actually this is from Thursday. This was to suggest we get probably back into the 40s briefly, but tomorrow as we head into Friday, we'll be closer to 70 degrees from inland North Carolina, 70 for Albemarle, and about 64 for Eastern Shore. So this is model data that you're seeing. These numbers, however, are yours truly's. So basically 46 by 8. I think we're probably closer to 63 at noon. Should finish the day partly cloudy at 68. So it's nothing but sun in the morning, which is going to allow for that cold start. Sun's up at 6:35, goes to bed now at 5:01, but 68, partly cloudy. I left a 10% chance, and I can't believe I had Thursday. That should say Friday. Have I had that all day? I probably have. Friday's planner. I'm telling you what, I've been so rushed to get these things on, so that should say Friday's planner. Hopefully that's now been remedied. Now you can see from our national map, this is what's going on now, still dealing with wet weather. Seems like 2 days in a row, maybe more, for Northern California, Seattle, Washington, parts of the Adirondacks have been getting, part of the Cascades have been getting some snow. We will see, perhaps have seen maybe some snow in the Adirondacks in the last 24 hours as well, back in New York State. But we go across the Great Lakes, there's just some cold air really starting to pour down. You can see that in the white areas where snow is already present, north of Minnesota, and back toward New York State where the Adirondacks have dried out. Some cold air may actually linger. But you come back home, and if you're in the military, we're going to deal with clear skies tonight. That's pretty much the way things are. Let me clear off the telestrator. Lows today, and then we'll get to the pizza. Lows today, down to 47. That, I believe, is our current temperature. Technically, our lowest temperature during the daylight hours was 55. That occurred at 11:14 a.m. And the high was 63 just before 1 a.m. It was 12:55 a.m. We hit 63 degrees. If you need evidence, there it is. 63 in Hampton, 63 in Norfolk. This was not what most people sensed. Daytime temperature never got above 58. So it was weird. We had an upside down day, 63 around 1 a.m., got down to 55, then we went up to 58, then came back down. We're now at 47. I mean, this is the roller coaster ride that's just now getting underway. So that's why I say, if you're not used to it, it's the time of year, but when you can get an Arctic blast that doesn't stick around, it kind of it's like a rubber band. It comes in, it snaps back. We're going to get some improvement mid to late next week. It will not be as crazy, I think, down the road. By the way, it's 7:59. We already covered the drought monitor. We won't focus on that much more. But as far as rain chances, again, fall color can sometimes play a role. If it's very dry, fall color may not be as brilliant for you. We do have a 20% chance of rain on Saturday, 40% chance on Sunday, and I think 40% would be very early, let's just say very late on Monday night, and then exiting early Tuesday. It's kind of a up and down roller coaster in every sense of the word. And I've talked about this fall color. Lots of beautiful color now from places like the Blue Ridge Mountains. The Allegheny Mountains have shown some pictures on that. I won't focus on that so much, but just show you that it's usually early to mid-November. We typically see some color coming alive in much of our neck of the woods. All right, it is time now for pizza and for me to reset. I do know that this is one of my favorite times because some people might watch it live. Yesterday I talked about somebody who was excited. They got what was apparently a yellow ticket in the mail. It's a certificate. If you get your name called, you can rest assured you'll get a certificate. You can redeem it at any one of these 6 locations. There's 3 in Virginia Beach, 2 in Chesapeake, 1 in Norfolk, and the website that you want to go to is WTKR.com/Marcos. This, in fact, is the place to register because we're going to give away more pizza next week. So if you don't win tonight, you'll have another chance to next week. But you can do it at any time. If you've registered once, you don't have to keep registering. And even if you don't win tonight, if your name is not called, just from watching this live stream, you can get half off your pizza order. Anything that you find on Marcos.com is half off if you use the promo code WTKR. Those are our TV call letters plus the number 50. So WTKR50 at checkout at Marcos.com. You'll get half off your order, and you can get any number of things that you might want. It could be a Pizzoli, a pizza bowl. It could be a sub. It could be a hot deal, salads, desserts, anything you can imagine. They'll take half off at checkout. I think that's pretty sweet. So everybody technically is a winner, whether it's half off or more. All right, let's get to the winners. We'll start with the 10 individual pizzas, because one of the things I like to do, as some of you like to know, I just like to give out the 10 pizzas first, and now we'll give the grand prize winner at the end. But here it is now, 8:01. I don't want to delay any further. So number 1, for the 1 free large Marcos pizza, drum roll please. First 2 winners in no particular order would be Allison from Suffolk. Allison Copeland, you just won some free pizza. Angela Boone from Portsmouth, you have also won a free pizza from Marcos. That is a 1 free, 1 topping pizza. I should include that, but it didn't have room on my text here. But that is 1 large pizza from Marcos with 1 topping. Number 2, Angela Boone. I think number 3 and 4 would be Christine Powell. Congratulations, Christine. You're in Hampton. So if you're in Hampton, you might have to do a little bit of driving just to get to these locations, but that's not a hardship, especially if you work in one town or another. Hampton Boulevard, Norfolk, might be closest to you. But again, Christine Powell. And the other winner, number 4, is Jen Evans. Not Jim Rummy, that's a card game. Jim Evans, even better. Jen's getting Virginia Beach. She's getting a free pizza. Congratulations to you. Also, we got James Bryant from Newport News. James Bryant's just won a pizza. Yes, James did. I don't know if you could tell him. If he's watching, hey, they're talking about you on the live stream. Pat Myers from Virginia Beach, you too have just won a free pizza. That's 6 winners right there. Pizza out the door. You'll be getting a certificate. I like to underline this simply because people are like, where's my pizza? It'll be sent by U.S. Post Office, regular mail, snail mail, but you'll get it. And when you do, you can redeem it at any time that's convenient for you. Okay, we have done number 1 through 6. I believe we can keep going. Number 7, Patricia Tucker. Chesapeake, way to represent Chesapeake tonight, Patricia. You just won a free pizza from Marcos with 1 topping. How sweet it is. And Rebecca Short from Newport News, yet another Newport News winner, Rebecca Short. All of these names were randomly selected from our sales team, so I have no hand in who's picked, but I'm really thrilled that each one of these individuals have now won a free pizza from Marcos, plus you get to share it. You don't have to eat the whole pizza by yourself. Why not share it with your loved ones? By the way, numbers 9 and 10 would be 1 in Norfolk, 1 in Suffolk. This is Risha Connor and Tenny Babb. Congratulations to Risha, Tenny, Rebecca, Patricia, James, Pat, Christine, Jen, Angela, and Allison. Did I get everybody? I think I did. That's kind of cool. I love the fact that I've won some pizza. And if you're on the call, I always like to double check to see if anyone has, somebody might want to notify these people, whether if they're watching live, if they're not watching live, they'll be notified with and I always like to tell people, if you get a letter that says Marco's Pizza and you're like, I don't know what this is, don't throw it away. Because if you throw it away, you're throwing away free food. Nobody wants to throw away free food in this economy. Now, big winner. It's time to do that. I think we've gotten big winner number one. This is free Marco's Pizza for a year. What makes this winner different is that they're going to receive this pizza, this certificate with free pizza. Their name will go here. They'll get a certificate, one large, one topping pizza for the whole year for free. So since this is November, this works like a punch card. They'll get one in December. Maybe they're tired of turkey after Thanksgiving. They could get their free pizza. And then they'll get one free pizza right through October of 2026. That's pretty sweet. So let's go ahead and get to that as I clear off the telestrator. Very excited about that. And I'm also excited about the fact that we could give out maybe some confetti. All right, you knew the winner would come out sometime or another. Here it is. It's Fenton Beauchamp. Fenton Beauchamp? You mean the Fenton Beauchamp? You know the one from Virginia Beach? Fenton just won free pizza for a year. Congratulations. This week's winner, big winner of the week, who gets 12 pizzas. Of course, they're spaced out monthly, but Fenton Beauchamp, congratulations to you. If you're watching, you know he goes to my fill in the blank. He goes to my social club or my church. Or he goes. I work with him. If you do, let Fenton know he's got a brand new certificate coming his way and be able to enjoy some free pizza. So congratulations to all the winners. We're going to get back to the weather, but I wanted to thank all of those of you who participated. And remember, if you didn't get your name called tonight, you can get 50% off your order. Just go to WTKR.com or WTKR50 to utilize the 50% off. You can also, again, win free pizza next week when we're giving away, again, this whole situation will be on Thursday. So love to have you participate. Marcos, again, loves weather. I love pizza. I think it's a pretty good fit for both of us. Now, when we look at this, we mentioned the fall color. I'm going to keep moving. The big story maybe in the Atlantic is it's so eerily quiet. Not much to see here, and that's okay because given the time of year, this is not the time we typically see a lot of activity. November 30th is the last day of hurricane season, and we have just a couple more days left. We're now 6 days in, so what do we have? We have 24 days, a little more than 3.5 weeks still to go. Today's high temperature may not show up here, but I'll go ahead and pencil it. I said it was 63, but that happened at 12:55 in the morning, so that probably doesn't count, right? Probably doesn't count, but there it is. We've had one warm day for the entire month and 5 below normal, but tomorrow this should be a 68, right? And then we've got 70s, 72 for Saturday, and 75 at least on Sunday. So we're going to have some red squares added up, and we'll see how it goes. But if that's based on the Norfolk International temperatures, I thought you would find that maybe a little bit interesting for context. We've had 0.79, a little more than three-quarters of an inch of rain for the month so far. Nothing today, and typically November yields about 3 inches, and it typically is the second driest month of the year. February tops that list based on a 30-year normal. 30-year average based on history, November's the second driest. Now, I don't often see a 16-degree dew point in November, but that's what's screaming at me about how dry this atmosphere is in Beckley, West Virginia. Richmond's at 33, 35 in Virginia Beach. It starts to feel like winter. And it's no wonder frost will be a big concern in some areas that we've already highlighted overnight tonight. Dew points may not be that high now, but they'll try and climb back to 55 or higher as we head into the next couple of days. In fact, Sunday, with the opportunity for some thunder, may very well get up to about 61. Now, again, these will be climbing to these values. They're nowhere near that now. But as far as the drop, look at how dry. I mean, when you got dew points in the mid-20s, you're going to have some wind chills with that wind. I'm telling you, it's going to cut through you if you're up Tuesday morning. Daniela was saying, should I get the warm coat? Yes, you're going to want the warmest coat you got, I think, early next week. Temperatures right now as of 8 o'clock, it's 8:08, 47 Hampton, 47 in Norfolk. I got a couple of notes who might be coming on. Oh, and Taj Brown, I think, is celebrating. He's excited. I'm in love with the fact that there are people who are watching this live stream, whether it's live or taped or maybe when it's convenient for you. If this information is helpful, leave me a comment. I know that my bosses like to read it. I like to read it, so we'll do our best. But I know Taj has been a faithful viewer because he watches it live, so you get a lot to see him, and you get to see Kim Thompson-Jones a lot here as well. She's also on here, and she's saying, me too. So I guess she's excited. Congratulations, Ken Jones. Ken was also saying, when you can give away free food, that's fun. And it really is through the generosity of Marco's, because they don't have to do it, but they've chosen to do it because they recognize in this kind of economy, and you can share it. You go through a drive-through, you're going to spend some money. That's just for one combo meal. With a pizza, you can share it 1, 2, 3, 4 ways or more, depending on how many are in your family. All right, I'm talking about temperatures. Look at the Suffolk for a moment. 38. This is our current reading. 37 in Hosky. 44 in Currituck right now. While they are still in the 50s from Manio, Dare County, and Nags Head right now, Edenton's at 43. If you look outside our region, East Tennessee currently is at 55 in Knoxville. It's 55 in Hatteras, so we got a connection. Hatteras is the same temperature as East Tennessee, but boy, they get cold with a 16-degree dew point. Beckley's at 40. They're going to have some chances to drop tonight as well as they get sharply colder. But the cold air, last I checked last night, this purple, it looks like it's growing. Do you see that? That cold air is getting ready. It's poised. It's poised to make a run down towards Chicago in just a few short days from now. Speaking of Chicago, they're at 56. LA is 63. And Atlanta is at 65. Now, I know some of you like this graphic. This is the future temperatures at 5,000 feet. It gets all the way down to Texas. It gets all the way to Louisiana by November 10th. So when we start belly up, man, it's cold. We're not the only one that's cold on Monday, Tuesday. This represents 2:51 in the morning. Look at it. It goes all the way. Follow the carving. You'll have what's called negative 850 temperatures all the way down to Arkansas, into Mississippi. And I dare say you could, maybe, let's see if the next frame suggests it, could we get some frozen orange juice in the panhandle of Florida? Yeah, I'd say, maybe so. Some of the color changes here. It's look kind of coolish. That's also about Monday night. So some of the folks in Florida, I'm sure, will have to wear a jacket or a sweater or whatever you want to call it. They'll feel a little bit of that chill as we head into early next week. We're not the only ones. And then it kind of spins away, and that's when things will kind of level off a little bit. Maybe not warm up tremendously like out west, but we will have our dew. We'll get back maybe closer to normal or slightly below normal by the 16th. Now, the temperature trend we've highlighted at the top, 68 goes to 72, goes to 75, and then we expect at least, the cliffhanger, expect at least a 20-degree drop in terms of highs from one day to the next. That's why I say I left now a 40% chance of precipitation on Sunday and Monday, because I don't think this drop in temperature, yes, it's going to come with wind. Yes, I think it's going to come with some convection. It's going to come with some thunderstorms. So we might get one or two of those, but it'll come with some showers. And then once it's out, it's going to open the door for some maybe a very interesting, if you work the third shift, very interesting time frame between 1 and 8 a.m. Tuesday. So 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Tuesday, I think will be fun to watch, even if you watch it later and look at the radar and rewind it. Yeah, did it snow? Oh, it looks like it tried. So that type of thing. We'll watch that as we head into Monday night, Tuesday. All right, so the Eastern Shore for tomorrow. Do you have Friday here? Yeah, I do. Finally, I got the right day here. Friday, this is the Eastern Shore. We're looking at 64 for Bloxham, 64 for Onancock and Exmoor. Cape Charles, mostly sunny. We'll call it sunny in the morning, partly cloudy in the afternoon. Leave a 10% chance of rain here. Kill Devil Hills, 68. Nags Head, Manio should match it. Duck about 69 for tomorrow afternoon. And 70 for Ocracoke, upper 60s for Hatteras. Rodanthe, you'll start sunny, should end partly cloudy. Now, the Storm Prediction Center might surprise you. They have continued to add some colors here. We can look at the one that's green. We can look at the one that's yellow. That's level 1, level 2. Isolated and scattered would be the words of the day. If you see this, don't see anything here, Aldrich. What are you looking at? Well, I'm not really looking at anything tonight through 8 o'clock tomorrow, but I am looking at something tomorrow. And if you need some evidence, we'll go here, see nothing on here. Let's see if this map will advance, because tomorrow, of course, is Friday. This storm system that's developing is going to create severe weather for parts of Tennessee. And I wanted to have everybody covered. So if you're in the Nashville area, if you're in Middle Tennessee, Bowling Green, you could find some scattered severe storms. And if you look at Chattanooga, they're also included. I don't want to leave out my East Tennessee neighbors here. Knoxville is included under level 1. Harriman, Sharps Chapel, all the way up towards, say, Sneedville, Morristown, 10 Mile, Harriman, Crossville. All of these areas are under level 1 for Friday. So it means you could get an isolated severe storm. It wouldn't last very long. The duration would be short-lived, but it does not include Sevierville. That's where it cuts off based on the Storm Prediction Center. Huntsville is included. West of Atlanta is included, as well as Montgomery, Alabama, and we could go up to Huntington, Lexington, Charleston, West Virginia, as well as parts of Ohio, Parkersburg, West Virginia, including Spencer, but not Beckley. So really, it's depending on where they happen to draw the lines. They think that's where the severe weather may exist on Friday. Clearly nothing here. Now, where does it go on Saturday? Kind of gets squashed further south of Tennessee. It's primarily in parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina, all under level 1 for isolated severe storms on Saturday, but nothing really to report here. So as we kind of look at tonight, the big story was that frost advisory. We talked about the counties at the top, and if you missed it, you can watch this stream and scrub it back to the beginning in just a few moments when I'm wrapping up here. But by midday tomorrow, we're going to go from sun, as you can see here, to a partly cloudy finish. So I do think the clouds might gather a little bit here at noon. Winds are southerly, so you're still dealing with a 5 to 15 wind that could gust to 25. But even at 4 o'clock, I wouldn't describe tomorrow as cloudy. I would just describe as scattered clouds. So partly cloudy, I think, will suffice at 4 o'clock. And then we go into about 11 o'clock. You notice a little drop here. Left a 10% chance of rain tomorrow. And it's the same situation, I think, Saturday morning. Not all the models are in agreement. Surprise, surprise. In a passing shower on Saturday, left a 20% chance Saturday. So really, it's a decent looking weekend. Until you get to about Sunday, that's when you're going to have the potential of this front coming in. Let me take this full screen, because this, I think, has a good timestamp. This is 5 o'clock tomorrow. And you can see even the Outer Banks have potential for a shower. That's why I left the 10% here. But if we advance this to about 7 a.m. Saturday, this model would suggest, yeah, there is potentially some shower here, whereas the one model we just looked at a moment ago had nothing. So I'll leave it at 20% chance on Saturday morning. Then it dries up. A lot of it disappears. So the rest of it, that's what, 12:30. 12:30 Saturday, it looks great. So if you've got plans, maybe you're headed to the Waterford District in your neighborhood, at least in Norfolk, they've got the War of the Wings. It's a 2-day East Coast wing festival. If you like to eat hot wings, buffalo wings, they are going to be cool to hang out there. But Sunday morning, the rain showers, you could get some thunderstorms out of some of these downpours. Maybe the thunder in yellow stays off the coast. That'd be nice. But there are some showers that could fill in here. So I left a 40% chance on Sunday. So for tonight, by far and away we're in the 30s inland, but at least closer to the coast, south side, peninsulas, we're still in the low to mid 40s. I got 43 Virginia Beach, 45 Cape Charles, 51 Duck, but 36 in Ahoskie, 34 for Franklin. Franklin's going to be pretty chilly, as with Conway, and Gloucester's kind of cool too at 40, 38 in Windsor and Bertie County. Tonight's lows could drop to 39 Smithfield. Again, concern tonight is frost. If you've had a frost advisory before, you're not worried about it, no big deal, but it could be and might be a great idea to bring in any potted plants that you think might be sensitive to the weather. Friday afternoon, we're in the upper 60s, pushing 70. Isn't that nice? Oh, about 71 for Edenton, 69 Duck, 65 Cape Charles, and about 68 in Hampton. Gloucester about 66 tomorrow. Williamsburg 67. Newport News and Norfolk both at 68 tomorrow, while Gatesville about 70 tomorrow. So here is your first warning WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. 72 Saturday, 75 Sunday. I know that big 20-degree drop won't really settle in until you wake up on Tuesday morning when you go, man, forget the snow. I'm just cold. It shivered me timbers. It's one of those cold starts that you're going to remember and say, that guy was right. Last Wednesday, like back in October, he said we'd have an early start to winter. Well, there you go. All right. Maybe the winter chill is maybe a canary in the, maybe it's a harbinger, a canary in the coal mine. Something of that nature could be in the offering this month and next. Because I think the best part of winter, if you're a snow fan, could very well be November, December, and the first 2 weeks of January. We'll see how this plays out. Because I don't like to commit to a snow forecast until I'm within about 3 days and confidence is there. Right now, I think we have the makings for some precipitation in the overnight period, but that will be while many of us are asleep on that Monday night, Tuesday morning time frame. So just want to end on these happy shots and thank you for your watching this live stream. Mount Trashmore, a beautiful park, which used to be, well, I was going to say now it's a beautiful park, but Lisa Lynn captured this picture from the sunrise, I believe it was this morning or yesterday morning, I forgot. Now, Bradley did take this, I think, this morning, Fort Monroe sunrise. Thank you, Bradley, for sharing this photograph. And last but not least, Mr. Wynn, non-Wynn, capture this for Virginia Beach. Love it, being able to see the sun. Always takes great pictures. We have a great group of photographers on WTKR Photographers Facebook group. So if you want to check that out, you can join it and watch some of the cool pictures on the screen. Now, as far as the 7-day forecast, 68 tomorrow, 72. It's the afternoons that are mild, but the cold mornings, we've got two of them, 33 and 37. So really early to mid next week, the heavier jacket, I think, will certainly come in handy for sure. Well, just remember, don't forget, if you want to get some free pizza, you want to sign up using the webpage WTKR, that's our webpage /Marcos. And if you want some half-off pizza, anytime, either now or through the rest of the week, because remember, these are deals of the week, so they don't last forever. But if you want to join, just go to marcos.com. You can share this promo code, you can save it, you can screenshot it, whatever you wish, but you're getting the whole pizza for half the price. That's a pretty sweet deal. Thank you, Marcos, for being so generous. And you might try what I call, I think it's a great lunch item, the Pozzoli, the pepperoni and sausage. It's like a stromboli, but it's really good, especially when you get some pizza sauce or maybe some ranch or garlic sauce to dip it in. That makes for a great lunch item as well. All right, so just a reminder, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or if it's serious, and sometimes it is serious, but you have to understand that every day that we're on this earth is a gift. Make the most of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you here next time. Take care.